I think most of the people today, we know each other, we met each other in this Zoom. And hello, sister. How are you, sister?
Hello,
Hi.
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good,
I'm
thank
good.
you. I am
Yes.
welcome to our Zoom today. So I expect and I would like to respect every one of you. But before we start the program, I would like to invite the new nuns to share, introduce your name and where you stay to with all the Mahasangha special we have the most venerable here and all the brothers and sisters and devotees with us today. Can you share your first, my sister Saleh Santa, please?
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, good evening, Venerable and Dhamma sister. I'm Siali Sari from Myanmar. Now I'm learning in MPhil degree in University of Virginia in Sri Lanka right now. And nice to meet you all.
Yes, thank you, sister. Thank you for joining us from sharing Big Lien International Buddhist Institutes. And now I would like to invite Sister Prasananwa. Bhante, can you introduce your name and yourself, please, sister?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Venerable Mahasangha. Um, First of all, my respect and veneration to you all. I am Venerable Prasannavati, and I'm from Nepal. Nowadays, I'm teaching in Tribhuvan University in Kathmandu. I have learned from Sri Lanka, and I was there for around 12 years. So on 2020, I have completed my PhD and came back to Nepal. Since 2021, I'm teaching in Nepal. Besides teaching in university in academic way, academic level, I'm also teaching in monastery in our temple, monastic teaching like in Sri Lanka Dhamma schools, and we also teach Dhamma school to the adults also, and doing all the religious practices in Nepal. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. I think Dr. Holly, you know sister, right? You see Holly, sister? She know you. Are you student mate, right? Yeah. Welcome Bhante Satimanta. Nam mô Bổn sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Chúng con xin đê đầu đảnh lễ hòa thượng trong hội đồng giáo phẩm của Giáo hội Phật giáo Tăng già các sĩ thế giới tại Mỹ. Và xin trân trọng kính chào hết tất cả quý chư tôn thiền đức tăng ni và quý Phật tử. Xin thưa với quý vị, chia sẻ hơn là hòa thượng là trong hội đồng giáo phẩm tại Mỹ, mà hòa thượng cũng join vào Zoom để mà có những cái ý kiến giáo thọ sau này, cũng như đầu tư cho chúng con trong chương trình của Big Lien International Institutes. Và hôm nay chúng con cũng có một số vị tham dự với chúng con, đặc biệt là một sister, còn thường con hay kêu sister tại vì cô này ở India, she got a PhD, Doctor Philosophy sau con 1 năm. Cô học lâu lắm rồi, ở Sri Lanka tới 20 năm lần thưa quý vị. Mà cô ra trường tốt nghiệp thì năm 20, nhưng mà đến năm 22 đó, năm vừa rồi mới được làm lễ tốt nghiệp, bởi vì trong đại dịch vừa qua thì lâu quá con cũng chưa gặp lại. Hôm nay con mới gặp lại trên Zoom này. So welcome sister and another sister, Sheila Santa. Now she in Sri Lanka on completely PhD in Sri Lanka right now, and I would love to respect you. Welcome to Dr. Dhamma join with us tonight also, today also. Dhamma, he's doctor of philosophy from in China, but he living in Vietnam right now. He normally translates some of the books from Sutra and translating all the Buddha. I think the Buddha movie before. I think many and the videos he been translating, and now he teachings online also Chinese language. That's what I understand. And thank you so much for Dr. Dam Thaw. He joined the course with us. Hopefully in the future, he will be the board directors, and he can have some advice, or he can guiding us for our institutes. So finally, today I would like to respect all your times and welcome all of you to be with us today morning and tonight and others. And welcome to Bhante Shanthawamila. Today his turns to teach for us online. He's holding master degree, and he got degree from Sri Lanka and from Singapore, and he sacrificed in life, I think in Australia 4 years, and he came back Sri Lanka, and he came to California couple of months, and he have some matters in the country, so he back there. Sooner he will be back in America. So we welcome Bhante Shanthawamila today. So your turn. Oh well, welcome Bhante. Bhante Satima Manta. How are you, Bhante? So welcome all of you, sister, brothers, and all devotees, our students, and wish we all have a very great time today. By the end of the time, I would love to have some question for Bhante today. But in order to do that, I would like to notice you. I very appreciate your time, but I excuse myself tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday, I have something to leave out of town. I won't be out of town tomorrow until the Monday. So I hope you accept my apologize. I'm not here tomorrow, Friday. I will be back next Tuesday. So please notice that tomorrow we don't have the class, we don't have the Zoom meeting for tomorrow. So I'll be back on next Tuesday because I'm going out of town. So, and please join us and subscribe for our YouTube's at Lien International Buddhist Institute. So please share to all your friends to subscribe for us. I appreciate your time and cooperation with us. Thank you very much. Let's start now, Bhante. Thank you.
Okay, good morning to most venerable monks and bhikkhunis. Thank you very much for giving me today as well. I have been talking to you since we started this program, and I got 2 chances to talk about, if I'm not wrong. So as usual, I have prepared some relevant, useful topic for you to understand today as well. So I'm going to share my screen with you so that may be easy for you to follow my talk, my explanation. If I can't really focus on this presentation, so if you can read the slides, so you will get what I have on this talk. Okay, let me share it. Give me a second.
Yeah, that's available from them.
Give me a second, because I don't know, it's always give me some problem. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, now you can see on the screen that is what I'm going to talk about today. Transference of merits to the departed relatives. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. When you see the screen, you may get some ideas what I'm going to talk about today. So this is very important concept in Buddhism, in Theravada Buddhism as well as in Mahayana Buddhism. A lot of people practice this concept. A lot of people perform these meritorious actions in the name of their departed relatives. So in Theravada Buddhism, we highly appreciate and highly recommend for devotees to practice this punyānumodana or patidhana or transference of merits. So you can see how people practice that, how people engage in transference of merits, right? In this picture, it represents how people do it. Yeah, let's move on to the second slide. So in introductions, you can see in the introduction, I have put some words you can read as well. So you can get ideas what the transference of merits is. Transfer of merit to departed relatives, patidhana, punyānumodana, pinganumodan kirima, pindima is a great practice among Theravada and Mahayana Buddhism. So you can see there are a lot of terms, punyānumodana and pindima, and also anumodan kirima. All these terms represent transference of merits, right? So these terms are used in Buddhism in Pali language. So all those are represents the concept of transference of merits. So this concept is not only in Theravada Buddhism, but also in Mahayana Buddhism. You can see this practice. Most Buddhists believe that they should perform some meritorious deeds during their lifetime so that they will have a better rebirth. So if we perform some wholesome activities during our lifetime, so definitely we believe that we will have a good rebirth in the future. Therefore, meritorious actions or merit punya may be performed as an act of generosity. Some people, they perform as an act of generosity, dana and virtue, sila, and mental development bhavana. That's how people use this act of meritorious action. They can perform in three various ways. Meritorious actions may be performed in a various way. The meritorious deeds include such as act of giving alms to others. Yeah, this is one of the most effective and most common practice in Theravada Buddhism. People offer things to monks. That is called alms giving. And also some people like to build hospitals, schools, temples, orphanages, libraries, hospitals, religious book. They like to print religious books for the free distribution. And also they like to do some charitable activities and deeds. So these are some meritorious actions that people used to do in order to accumulate merits for the purpose of transference of merits to the departed relatives. Okay, so I hope you have some idea about transfer of merit to departed relatives in both tradition, in Mahayana and in Theravada. Let's move on to the second slides. Yeah, I'm going to continue with the first one. The Buddhist rituals of sharing merits was first established with the story of King Bimbisara. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I give you the precise story briefly. You know, the King Bimbisara, one day he offered a monastery to the Lord Buddha. Having offered this monastery to the Buddha, he wanted to actually transfer merit to the departed relatives who passed away long time ago, maybe many 1,000 years ago, many 100 years ago. But unfortunately, he forgot to transfer merit to his departed relatives. So next day, after that wholesome activity was over, at that night, the King Bimbisara had to face some that we call that scary dream, a nightmare. So in the nightmare, in the night time, the King Bimbisara was affected by scary dreams. So a lot of hungry ghosts or hungry naked petas or hungry ghost, or maybe Peta, some beings appeared in the dream and frightened the king, Bimbisara. He was so shocked. Why? Because I have just completed, or I have just offered, or I have just conducted wholesome activities yesterday, today daytime, with the Buddha. Why I had to face this kind of unusual dream or something like that? So soon after that, next day morning, he wanted to know the reason, the consequences of this dream. Then he straight away went to the Buddha and requested the Buddha to explain the meaning behind this dream. So the Buddha said that, oh, king, because Buddha, he was able to read the mind of the king Bimbisara. Using his psychic power, mental abilities, he was able to read. Then he said, yes, I know the reason. The king, long time ago, you had some friends, relatives who passed away in the name of your family. But they expect some merits from you. They want some merits from you. You had to give them some merits. That's why they come and appear in your dream. But King Bimbisara forgot to do that. Then the Buddha advised him to perform giving dana, or perform meritorious deeds again. Give dana to monks again, and transfer merit to his departed relatives again. Likewise, he did it. Likewise, he performed it, and he transferred it to his departed relatives. And that next day, he was able to see his relatives were happy. They were in clothes. They were wearing very beautiful clothes, and they were happy. So that is the story. That this story tells us that this is the beginning of transference of merits in Buddhism, right? So this is how we started this practice. So this is how it explains in the text. Let's move on to the next slides. We had to understand, why do we have to give merits to our departed relatives? Why do we have to remember them? Yes, we had to understand that. The belief is that departed one might have gone to the world of departed spirits. Sometimes we don't know, we can't tell, we can speculate where they have gone after they die. Nobody can tell, nobody can speculate, but we can think that according to teachings of the Buddha, sometimes they may go to the lower realms, sometimes they may go to the higher realms, depend on what they have done in their lifetime. But let's see that if anyone of our departed relatives have gone to the lower realms, like animal world or Peta world or demon world or hell world, we had to remember them. Let's say that if they have born into animal world, they can't get help from us. But let's think that if they have born into Peta world kind of existence, definitely they can get help from us. So we had to remember our departed relatives. They are helpless if we do not give them merits. We had to give them some merits. I remember that when I was in your center in California, Bichalim Buddhist Center, I remember that every Sunday, a lot of people come to temple and they prepare some food and they offer for the departed relatives. That's how they practice. That is a great thing that they remember their departed parents, mothers, and relatives. That's how we had to treat them, because they have done a lot of things for the sake of our life. We had to remember them. We had to give them some merits, right? So that is why we had to remember them. And the next slides, if I continue, the Buddha said that the greatest gift we can confer on one's dead relatives is to perform act of merits and to transfer these merits. He also says that those who give also receive the fruits of their deeds. Yeah, Buddha said that the greatest gift that we can give, we can offer to our departed relatives is merits. Nothing else you can give to them. Only these things, merits, right? So that at the same time, when we give them some merits, in return, we can also benefit. We can also get some help, benefit from our act. How do we should perform? How do we have to perform? How should we perform merits to departed ones? Yeah, we had to understand how we need to do that. We had to understand why do we need to do that and how we need to do that. You know that if you are in Sri Lanka, sometimes you might have seen in memory of deceased relatives, people perform numerous merit-making ceremonies. They offer Sangika Dana. Sangika Dana is one of the most famous one among Theravada Buddhist countries. They like to offer things to monks in order to accumulate a lot of merit. Give something to religious places, or sometimes some people like to donate things to temples. Like when I was in your temple before, I see sometimes some people come and offer rice packets or oil bottles and some other things. Yeah, that's how people offer things to the temple in order to accumulate a lot of merits. Maybe in their mind, they may have some names of the departed relatives to give some merits to them. That's how people do. And also sometimes some people observe precepts or teach the Dhamma. And also some people may even become ordained for a short period of time and stay in the monasteries to accumulate a lot of merits. And having done one or more of these things, relatives or friends perform ceremonies in the 7 days, 3 months, 1 year in a memory of the deceased one. Yeah, in Sri Lanka, usually people remember their departed relatives after 7 days of their departure, or sometimes 3 months after their departure, and sometimes 1 year death anniversary. People perform in these three occasions: 7 days, 3 months, and 1 year. These are the common practices in Sri Lanka. Yeah, the dead are always remembered when any good deed is done, and more on occasions connected with their lives, such as their birth and the death anniversaries. Yeah. You know that whenever they perform some good action, good activities, or wholesome activities, they always like to remember their departed relatives. Sometimes on their birthdays, sometimes they remember, and on their death anniversaries, they remember. That is how they remember their departed relatives. Yeah. Let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, continue again. On such occasions, there is a ritual which is generally practiced before the ceremony. The lay people fill the pot with clean water and keep it before them during the chanting. They also have 2 bowls, a smaller bowl inside a larger one. Towards the end of the ceremony, relatives or friends of these deceased or dead pour water from the pitcher to teapot into empty bowl, placed in the large bowl while repeating the 2 Pali formulas. Yeah, this is some kind of activities, some kind of rituals. Actually, if you have gone to Sri Lankan Buddhist temple, you might have seen how they perform. Usually they use the 2 cup and the jug fill of water in order to pour water into this empty cup. Yeah. When they pour water into empty cup, usually they recite some Pali formula. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatu. May my departed relatives be conducive all these merit. May they let this be for my relatives. May my relatives be happy. This is how our wish when we pour water into the empty cup, when we transfer it to the departed relatives. That's how we do. Yeah. Again, yeah, I don't need to explain all these things. They are too wordy. So there are a lot of meanings behind these rituals. You know that sometimes the empty cup represent departed relatives, and the jug full of water represent the living people who have done meritorious actions. So let's say that if your departed relatives are in a lack of merits, so now your relatives, living relatives, they have performed wholesome activities, they have a lot of merits. So now they can give some merits to their departed relatives. The empty cup represents departed relatives. So when you pour water into empty cup, the empty cup automatically gradually overflows with the water. So that represents how the departed get some help from the living relatives, and they rejoice in accepting or rejoice in getting merits from their living relatives. That's what the ritual tells us. And at the same time, monks also don't keep quiet. They also recite some special stanza. Yathavarivaha paripurent sagarang evamevaito dinnan. Likewise. So the monks also recite. This tells us this meaning is very good, very informative, and it gives us a lot of a beautiful picture of how what this Pali stanza means. Just as rivers full of water fill the ocean full, even so does what is given here benefit the dead. Yeah, you know that normally the ocean fills the water from the rainwater or from the water of the rivers, right? That's how the ocean fills with the water from the other rivers. Likewise, our departed relatives may be benefit from our wholesome activities. As water raining on hill lands reach down to the lowlands, even so does what is given here benefit the dead one. Yeah, you know that when raining onto the top hill of the mountain, slowly it comes to the lower level, right? Then it goes to the rivers, and then from river the water goes to the ocean. Likewise, our departed relatives may be benefit from what we do, right? That's what that Pali stanza means. And now conclusion. In my conclusion, I have the followers of the Buddha should act wisely and should not follow anything blindly. While others pray to God for the departed ones, the Buddhists radiate their loving kindness directly to them. By doing meritorious deeds, they can transfer the merits to their beloved ones for their well-being. This is the best way for remembering and giving real honor to and perpetuating the names of the departed ones. In their state of happiness, the departed ones will reciprocate their blessings on their living relatives. Yeah, after we give merit to our departed relatives, in return they also bless us. May my living relatives live longer. May they experience happiness and good health. That's what they wish for our living relatives. This is all about my presentation today. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you may learn something from it. And if you have some comments, and if you want to ask something from me, please go ahead and ask me. If I can, I will answer to those questions and comments. Yeah, thank you very much for listening. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bhante, for your time to sharing the Dhamma with our Bitling International Institute. So today,
Yeah.
end of the time, so I would like to invite and respect all your questions from most venerables and from Dr. Damtha and all the Mahasangha brothers and sisters and all the students there. Any question for Bhante Shanthawamila today with the topic, the transference of merits? Can we get any questions, please? Nam mô Bổn sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Kính bạch Hòa thượng, Hòa thượng có thể cho chúng con một vài cái câu hỏi, hoặc là một câu hỏi, hoặc là Hòa thượng có thể đóng góp thêm cái bài Transferences of Merits không, bạch Hòa thượng? Hòa thượng có thể speak English or Vietnamese?
Bây giờ đóng góp làm sao đây?
Hòa thượng thấy sư diễn đạt và với cái vấn đề mà transference of the merits thì Hòa thượng nghĩ thế nào ạ? A Di Đà Phật. In the meantime, Phật tử nghĩ thế nào thì Phật tử có thể đưa tay lên nha. Có thể Phật tử có nhiều cái idea, có nhiều cái questions about the transference of merits lắm đó. A Di Đà Phật. So what do you think about the question? Any other question from Bhante or sister from Mahasangha? Brother and sister, do we have any to add up to reference of marriage from Bhante Shanthawamila? Anybody, any advice, any idea?
මේ වෙලාවේදී ඇවිල්ලා සාන්තිවිමල හාමුදුරුවන්ගෙන් පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහන්න ඕන. මම සිංහල භාෂාව මේ වෙලාවේ යොදාගන්නේ දැන් වෙසක් මාස ඉවරයි. දැන් ඇවිල්ලා පොසොන් මාසයේ උදා වෙලා තියෙනවා. තව දවස් කිහිපයකින් පොසොන් උදා වෙනවා. අපේ ලංකාවට. දැන් එතකොට මේ වීඩියෝ එක Facebook හරහා විවිධ අන්තර්ජාලය හරහා මේ සාන්තිවිමල හාමුදුරුවෝ මේක දකිනවා. ඒ නිසා මම සාන්තිවිමල හාමුදුරුවන්ගෙන් ආසයි මේ වෙලාවේදී අර සාංගික දානමය පුණ්‍ය කර්මයක් ගැනනේ අද කතා කරන්නේ. හාමුදුරුවන්ගේ හරි ලස්සනයි, හරි වැදගත්. අනේ හාමුදුරනේ මේ එක විනාඩියක් හරි ලංකාවේ මිනිස්සුන්ට මේ දානානිසංස ගැන කිව්ව හින්දා පුළුවන් නම් පොඩ්ඩක් ඇවිල්ලා මේ වෙසක් පොසොන් ගැනත් පොඩ්ඩක් සිහිපත් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම්.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bhante Satyamanta. He told me something in Sinhala. Since I have talked about the giving, importance of giving, importance of transference of merits, so he asked me to tell about the Posam Poya. 2 days later, we will have a special Poya day that is called Posam Poya Day. That is the day that we received Buddhism into Sri Lanka. The Arahant Mahinda Thera, he landed in Mihintale, the temple of Bhante Ratana. Yeah. So that's how we receive Buddhism from India. So considering that importance of that day, a lot of people and monks, they get together in the temples and they perform a lot of wholesome activities on that day. And also we distribute a lot of free food on that day. If you come to Sri Lanka on that day, so you don't have to worry of finding food. If you go on the street, any street, people will distribute you free food, free ice cream, free roti, free fried rice, free a lot of other things, right? Ice coffee, a lot of things people distribute on that day in order to mark respect to the Venerable Mahinda, and also in order to accumulate a lot of merits on that day. And also there are some other lot of activities are there also on that day. You know that there are processions on that day, Mihindu Perahara, Mihindu processions on that day. There's a lot of activities on that day. So we are getting ready for that day. So please join us. You will be able to see the lot of things on that day. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing more about the how to transfer the transference of the merits. Any questions from Dr. Dam Thor? Can you please give us more how to be to get some merit from previous life or present life? Please, thank you, Doctor.
Very much for the teaching and for the content of this the lesson content for today class. But I want to add some more information in Vietnamese for I think that is very helpful for Vietnamese people, student here. Xin phép được thêm một ý vài cái thông tin của cái bài giảng của hôm nay của sư nói về cái gọi là chia sẻ cái công đức đối với cái người đã khuất. Và hôm nay sư đặc biệt sư giảng về cái nội dung có liên quan đến một cái bài kinh gọi là trong cái kinh tiểu bộ đó, gọi là kinh ngoài bức tường, nói về sự cúng dường đối với lại ngạ quỷ. Mà ngạ quỷ ở đây chính là những cái người đã khuất của chúng ta. Và trong cái duyên khởi của bài kinh này là như hồi nãy sư có nói, đó là do cái giấc mộng của vua Bimbisara mơ thấy những cái giấc mơ rất là mình gọi là nightmare, có nghĩa là những cái giấc mơ rất là ác mộng về những cái người đã khuất. Cho nên sáng hôm sau vua hỏi lên thỉnh ý của Phật, thì Phật mới nói là đó là những cái người thân đã mất trong quá khứ, họ muốn nhờ vả công đức của vua, nhưng mà vua lại không có đoái hoài đến họ, hoặc là vua không nhớ đến họ, cho nên họ giống như một cái tín hiệu để họ nhắc. Nên đặc biệt là đó là cái duyên khởi của bài kinh. Tuy nhiên là quý Phật tử tiếng Việt á, chúng ta có thể xem cái bài kinh đó trong kinh Tiểu Bộ. Thì hồi nãy có sư cũng có đưa lên một cái đoạn bài kệ đó, có nghĩa là nói về cái dòng nước từ trên núi, trên đỉnh núi, mà khi mà nước từ trên đỉnh núi chảy xuống thì nó sẽ lan tỏa khắp và đến, cũng giống như công đức mà khi đã được bố thí, và đặc biệt bố thí cho chúng tăng, cho những người có giới đức, thì cái công đức đó rất là nhanh và rất là nhiều, và sẽ đến nhanh liền đến với những người thân đã mất của chúng ta. Và cũng xem như là đó cũng như là cái quan điểm, cũng như là cái điều mà Đức Phật dạy cho chúng ta về cái sự tri ân và nhớ ơn những tổ tiên, những người đã khuất, để chúng ta không có nên lãng quên họ.
Dạ, Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Xin cung kính tri ân thầy tiến sĩ Đồng Thọ đã chia sẻ thêm, cũng như là add up more detail about Bhante Shanthawamila sharing about transference of merits. He tried to convince the people to do the good deeds, to transfer all for the dead people from previous ancestors or the past. And it's very good for us to be sharing, and with the sentence, with presentation, you share so much about experiences. So he encouraged for other people try to do the good things and good deeds in order to transfer for the peoples from the Buddha teachings us. So as a case for him to help him here with us, to sharing and add up all the sharing with you and others. Thank you so much for your reference of merit this time and this moment and today's. Let me ask some other Vietnamese devotees any questions that so we can share. A Di Đà Phật. Sư cô xin mời quý Phật tử. Quý Phật tử nào có thể chia sẻ thêm cái sự đóng góp và kinh nghiệm bản thân của mình về công việc mà mình làm những cái công đức, cũng như là mình làm những cái điều tốt để mà hồi hướng công đức cho gia đình, cho ông bà, cha mẹ hoặc là bản thân không ạ? Quý Phật tử nào có muốn có idea không? Có any advice or any questions? So maybe nobody want to have any other question for today, right? So I think it's enough time for today. Then I would like to respect all your time. First of most venerable Giác Pháp and Dr. Dam Tha and other Mahasangha brother and sister. Especially I have the new Digali, I think at Bhante calling from Canada today. Thank you for your time, Bhante. He's a very good expertise about meditation also. I hope very sooner he can join with us and sharing about meditations. Thank you so much for your time, Bhante, from Canada. And all the people, once again, is Bhante Rangwala also. So next time I don't mention all the name because we know each other in our gyms today. And I very appreciate honor of Bhante International Institute. Thank you so much for your time enjoying sharing Dhamma to the world with our Bhante International Institute. So I would love to have your advice, your ideas, any others, so we can get more success to our people out there, brother and sister. Especially thank you so much for all devotees and all students in other countries. Tomorrow, I noticed tomorrow I won't be in class. So tomorrow we're not having meetings and Zoom. And so we come back next Tuesday, the same time, 8 o'clock California. Because tomorrow on the way I'm going to other states, so maybe I have no internet to connecting, so we have no class tomorrow, no meeting tomorrow at 8 in the morning. So we come back next Tuesday the same time, 8 o'clock in California times, and other country 10 and 11 in Singapore. So I would love to see you next Tuesdays at the same time in California. And I would like to respect and thank you so much for Most Venerables and Dr. Damtha and other Mahasangha brother and sister and other, especially the nuns, Bhikkhuni, Shashila, Santa from Myanmar studying in Sri Lanka right now. Another sister, maybe she busy, she offline. So today we have 9 out of 20, but now we have 9 the end of the course. So thank you so much. And I let you know one more thing. So we have the Zoom, I mean the YouTube Buddhist International Institute. So you can click on the link. Then please subscribe for us to get 1,000 people, so we can do the live streams. So we can share, you can share with your friends or your people. So I hope we have more people to join us in future. So I would love to invite Dr. Damtha to be directors advisory for our Buddhist International if he available for after the Vesak days, Vesak season. I know everyone very busy, so we don't have that much time. So today we end of the time. So I would love to again thank you very much for your times, and I would like to send you a previous Dharma greeting to all my dearest Dharma brother sister and my family friends, and lots of love and metta. I wish you all have a good evening, good night, and have a good day. Thank you very much. To see you Tuesday.
Doctor,
Yes.
Finally, may I have my idea?
Yes, please.
In the meeting,